Hey folks, Lucas Ballahhood here with Coldwell Banker RMR Real Estate and the Ballahhood Group. Welcome back to this week's episode of Finance Fridays. I'm joined by the lovely and talented Alexandra Job with RBC. Alex, how are things in your world today?
Pretty good, pretty good. A little unfortunate news, but I know you have that insight as to what I'm going to share, but I'll let you get started.
Well, there's been a lot happening. Certainly, today as we're recording is October 27th. And yesterday was the Bank of Canada's latest announcement on interest rates, and they did rise a little bit. I know obviously you're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of it, but last week, our last call we had, you were projecting potentially something as stiff or as steep as 75 basis points, but we didn't get that far, did we?
No, so where we landed yesterday, Bank of Canada did a 50 basis point increase. So maybe I shouldn't be negative. We'll look at it as a positive. I just hate
Always got to
sharing that
try.
news because it's just affecting everyone. I even watched breakfast television this morning, and that was like the topic, like how are interest rates affecting you? How are you feeling? And it is hard on everyone financially. When it comes to clients that have variable mortgages or funds sitting on a line of credit, a secured line or unsecured line, even things like bridge financing, that all gets more expensive. So the cost of borrowing keeps going up, and we will probably see another increase in December. The next Bank of Canada announcement for interest rates will be December 7th. But for now, prime has gone from 5.45 to 5.95. So depending on what your discount is or premium with that prime rate, it will automatically adjust accordingly. And you will see your payments increase. I have had so many inquiries from existing clients on reallocating funds within our product called a home line plan. So clients that are on a variable or that are a secured line of credit that want to reallocate their funds. So it's not necessarily refinancing because we're not changing it's just within their plan, putting the balances into fixed mortgage products. So we're doing a lot of maintenance like that for our clients to help them get through this storm.
So that kind of touches on something we've talked about previously, in that now that the rates have gone up and people are starting to see the impact on their payment and what it's doing,
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to get ahead of that trigger rate that we've
Yeah,
talked about
right,
and
exactly.
lock into a fixed product as an example versus the variables.
Or adjust their payments. So some people are
Yeah.
staying on the variable product, but they're like, okay, we don't want to pay interest only. We want to make sure that we're staying on top of our amortization. What does our new payment need to be if we were really geared to a 30-year AM? So it doesn't stretch out to 45 plus years.
Mhm.
And so they don't hit their trigger rate. So we're just doing a lot of maintenance like that right now. And of course, with prime going up, it does change clients qualifying their abilities as to what they qualify for, and that in turn will change and impact the market. So what do you think what's happening so far in October, and what are your expectations?
Well, we're near the end of the month here. As I opened my computer this morning, we've seen 511 sales.
Uh-huh.
That was excluding 10 properties on the commercial side of things. But we've seen 511 so far. Last October, we were at 1,047 sales by the end of the month. So, right now we're down about 50%. But for the next 4 days here, we could see another 20 sales per day or close to that come through potentially. So that's still going to put us under 600.
Mm-hmm.
So we're down a good 40% compared to last year. And this certainly pricing is going to be affected, as people's budgets are, not to say stretched a little bit more, but what they can borrow has come down. So that's going to translate in the next few months to adjustments in pricing,
Mm-hmm.
because those folks being locked into those rates are only going to be able to pay so much. What that does mean though or that's going to open the door for some opportunities to find a deal here or there, because there's going to be
Yeah.
fewer buyers in the market.
Yeah.
Right. So for those that are in a position to invest, or if they are actively in the market, is they've got to move or buy a house, that there's going to be some opportunities there. We've seen inventory climb, quite drastically. I think we were at more than 1.5 months inventory, getting closer to two,
Okay.
from in September. And last year in October we were at about 2 weeks
That's
of
crazy.
inventory. So if no new listings came on the market, we'd be out of homes to sell in 14 days. So, now we're getting closer to 2 months. I imagine that number will be much closer to 2 months by the time we see the numbers in a few days, next week.
So you
But,
may find that
you know,
like with inventory being lower, if someone's personally shopping for their home, they may not be able to find it because the listings are lower, that they might not be able to find exactly what they're looking for, but the investor uh, market. So if you want to invest in real estate and find a home to rent out, and rents are high, we've talked about that.
mhm.
Um, Now might be the time, or in the next few months, it may be the time to find a deal, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there will be opportunities out there, not to think that there's people or that there's opportunities to take advantage of some situations on the buyer side of things. There are going to be situations where someone was, they want to sell their house, they were holding out for a higher price, and because it's not coming,
Mhm.
they're willing to, their
Sure.
expectations have finally, changed a little bit,
Yeah.
and compared to the neighbor down the street who hasn't had that realization maybe to this point. So that's where I think there's going to be, more activity happening.
Mhm.
But again, those who are serious about moving and are moving their primary residence will be out there in the market, but there won't so many people doing that just because they have the opportunity to make some money on their home.
Right. Mhm.
That's probably not going to be the case so much anymore, but it'll be
Oh,
the leverage has definitely shifted to the buyer when you're in
yeah.
that
And before it
position
was
right now
sellers,
to
and
be
people
able to
were
close it.
going, I'm cashing out, I'm cashing out. If I can get this much money for my house, I'm taking it. And that's why it was just like crazy, right?
Yeah.
Any reason,
Yeah.
variables.
So, looking at interest rates back in the start of the year, they've gone up 3.5% from the Bank of Canada. We were at, quarter point,
Yeah.
right? And we've gone up quite a bit, and the pricing has certainly reflective of where things are at. But, it's not that the bottom's not going to drop out of the
No.
market.
Right.
The average price last month was 915. This time last year it was 988.
Mhm.
Sorry, in September it was 915.
Okay.
October of last year was 988.
Okay.
So, do I expect it to be something like 950 this month?
Yeah.
No, not really. But I don't expect it to drop too much. I expect it to hold at least for October. And the rate increase that, has hit us yesterday, isn't going to be felt for a few months. So, I don't, it's going to be a slowdown,
Yeah.
but the bottom's not going to drop out.
No.
So.
Pride.
Yeah. So we just got to ride the wave for a little while here and wait for it to come back. But hopefully by the start of next year or sort of near the end, towards the end of next year, we see those rates come down again and
Yeah.
more activity happening out there.
I think so. Just looking into the future a little bit, like I said, December we're going to see another rate announcement, and I would anticipate that they'll do that extra 25 basis points. So we did 50 now, probably another 25 in December. Hopefully from there on out, it just holds. We get through our spring market, and then we can sort of see things. Hopefully, we have some better rate offers and specials on our end, and more houses come on the market, and we get more activity, and things start to move up again as we get a handle on inflation. So
Yeah, like I think what you're talking about this morning is, you were watching CTV or
yeah,
whatever, breakfast
yeah,
television or all those,
uh-huh.
the news outlets right now are, they're kind of capitalizing on the headline,
Yeah,
that we're heading into a recession and all
yeah,
this, but the real estate market's been through a recession many times.
yeah, it's
It's
normal.
it's going to come down, it's going to come back, it's going to affect people for the next little while and
Oh,
affect the market for a little while, but. It's not to say it's going to be a positive thing overall. We know where rates were and where home prices were for so long in the past 2 years, it wasn't sustainable. So this is healthy for the market, and it should it should help us balance things out.
just in regards to the word recession, and the economy and everything, I know, Luke, that we have an upcoming event on November 2nd. It's
It's next week.
but it is a dinner and presentation by our global asset management team. So I think we'll get some good information and insight there that then we can share on our recording.
Yeah, next call. It's certainly, I'm looking forward to that. It's always great to hear these, these experts, share their wealth of knowledge with us and what they're seeing in the market and sort of what we can expect and how we can, better educate our clients on those forecasts and help prepare them for what's ahead and be ready for it. So
Absolutely.
it's always great to have those kind of, or be involved in those kind of events and speaking engagements.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
I think the only thing we're at now is, we're 27th of October. Halloween's quickly approaching. Do you have costumes ready yet?
I am working on it. I have a sewing project date this evening. So that is in my calendar for my daughter and I later on tonight. I won't, maybe we could share a picture after. I don't know.
Oh, we'll see how. Yeah, we'll see how. I'm sure. I
We'll
imagine
see
you've
how we
got
do.
to be right done up. This year, my oldest son is right into superheroes, so I imagine that's what our theme is going to be. So
Yeah.
we'll see how if anybody ends up in some tights and a cape or anything like that. Hopefully, it's not me. But yeah, it's always going to be a fun time, and
Well,
at the age of my boys, it'll be a blast this year. So I'm looking forward to it.
well, have fun, be safe.
You too, and everybody else out there. Again, it's obviously this time of year it starts to get dark a little bit earlier, so keep an eye out for the little rugrats running around all dressed up, and everyone be safe out there and have a wonderful Halloween. So until next time, Alex, thanks so much for being here.
You. Thank
Everyone else here viewing today, feel free to like and subscribe and follow along on all of our socials, and we'll be with you again soon.
you.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. See ya.